Good morning, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday morning, September 9th. We're looking at Window Trader's market profile of the ES and SPY. So let's go over what's transpired the last couple of days and where we are now. So after having a triple distribution day on Wednesday, we take it all back in one fell swoop Thursday morning when we traded lower, only to think we shook out some weak longs and get a stronger batch in as we go up in B, C, D in the beginning of V, only to have a vicious liquidation break to wipe all those longs out and then spend the next 3 hours of the trading day, over 3 hours, just grinding back up and closing towards the highs. Now this morning we're attempting to gap over a lot of visual areas. Number one would be a balance high on the daily, this high here. Number two, the 50-day moving average. Number three, the 4,000 level in ES and the 400 level in SPY. We'll look at the charts in a minute, but I'm going to give you what I think can happen if we stay above here. Remember, trading above it is one thing, acceptance is quite another. But we'll go over that in a moment. Right now, the overnight high in SPY is 404.28. The overnight low is 400.37. In the ES, the overnight high right now is 44.50. The low is 05.50. So the game plan for this morning, well, again, depending on the size of the gap, I will look for longs on pullbacks. As you can see, we had a double distribution in the overnight in SPY, in Russell, and I'm sure in Qs. Yep. So we're all looking to gap higher. The gap right now, though, in SPY, yesterday's high was 400.86. It's over $2. I'd rather it pull back and have a gap of $1 or so for a couple of reasons. You have better risk reward. You see if we back test the 400 level, see if we back test, I don't want to get back to 400 or 4,000, but to get back tested a little bit where we'll pick up a new batch of buyers and hold it and then start going up. So again, a gap of over $1, $1.50, I will be waiting to get a pullback. If I don't get it, I just watch it till it gets to a more visual level, which would certainly be next week's high, which we'll talk about in a moment. No real short unless you want to try to short, depending on where the overnight high is the first time. But remember, you'll be shorting with higher value and a gap. Buyers are going to start, unless something changes drastically, with a gap and higher value. So longs on a pullback, gap fill is my out. Maybe a small short against the overnight high, and again, maybe at last week's high to see if we stop the one-time framing. Now, that's we'll recap all these charts, by the way, tonight. So here's what's important. Let's go to these charts. So first we'll start with the daily. So I did a consultation last night, and we were going over what the market might do. And I said, look, we are in a 4-day balance. This is a crucial level right here. I give the buyers a lot of credit for how they battled back the last 2 days after giving up a lot. Okay? Well, severe liquidation break yesterday, $4.07, only to come back and close near the highs, taking back a triple distribution day, and yet they closed here, and now they're attempting to get above this. If they get above it with acceptance, so what would acceptance be? Well, certainly if you hold the gap above here, that'd be nice acceptance. But if you get above here, don't hold the gap. Again, one day doesn't make a market if we close above here. However, it would be the start of something. And I said in the consultation last night, I said, if we do start getting acceptance above here, I think for the next 8 trading days, we're going to grind higher until the Fed. There's not much out. The Fed speakers, today's the last day. Earnings don't start yet. I said the market digested whatever came out with the ECB, with Powell yesterday. And now if we get acceptance above here, we're going to go grind higher and get to 20. And I wouldn't doubt if we even attempt to get into that weekly gap prior to Fed Day. That is clearly if we start getting acceptance above here. If we look above here and come right back in, then that game's out the window. But for now, you have to give the buyers all the credit because we are above here for now. All right, and then on the weekly, SPY's last week's high is 405.84. Now, we're still almost $3 away from it, but there is the possibility, if you take that out and close above it, of having an outside week up. Now, look at this trend line. If we are to do that, that means we have to get above this. Basically, we'd have to get right above this trend line, which is around 406. So if we push up to that level the first time today, I think it would be a good risk-reward short to see if that trend line holds and last week holds. Should be an interesting day, and it should give us a pretty good idea where our direction is for the next 8 trading days. Thanks for the likes and subscribing to this channel. Come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. Have a great day trading, and we'll recap the day and the week at 4 p.m.